Welcome to the Being Curious Show. I'm Brian Mariani, founder of No Shift Own.
And I'm Kelly Wagner, publisher of Edge Magazine. Our show is about curiously connecting teachers and seekers on a wide range of topics in a safe space. Few topics will be off limits, and we have some amazing guests to share with you.
Our intention is that our conversations will spark your own curiosity to create a life that lights you up and inspires you to be kind, thoughtful, open-minded to yourself and others.
We are on AM 950, Sundays at 2 p.m. and all podcast platforms. So, Brian, what are you curious about today?
Wow. I'm curious. I mean, we're always curious. Today, I have a strange curiosity because our guest today is very similar to you, and I'm quite curious to see how we all come together and have fun. I'm anticipating. I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of things today, Kelly, and I know that comes up a lot, but it might come up more than usual today. What do you think?
Brian, anything's possible. And I love when you start the shows with wow.
Wow.
For everybody that's
wow.
Wow. For anyone that's a part of the Being Curious with Kelly and Brian drinking game.
Who are we adding this?
No. Well, we could. I think wow could be added. Amazing's in there.
Fantastic.
Right? And it doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage. It could be kombucha. It could be tea. It could be coffee. It could be water.
Ooh, there we go.
It's just, there we go. Everyone get it up.
So our guest today is Nicole, the intuitive medium. You can find her at NicoleIntuitiveMedium.com. And we're very excited you're here today. And so we want to dive right in. We're going to ask you a question that really will help our audience get to know you, not just the amazing Nicole Intuitive Medium, but who you were on the journey to become that, right? So if you were to go back in time, could you remember an experience where, as you look back, you go, oh, well, that's why I do what I do today. Is there anything like that, that you could share with us?
There's so many, but it's sort of hard to going way back into childhood when I was, kind of reminiscing right before we got on. I was trying to, recall those types of moments. I would say I did have imaginary childhood friend named Gertrude. And my mom told me later that that's what her name was. So, a lot of mediums speak about having these imaginary friends, and were they actually imaginary? So, that's kind of interesting. I didn't think about that later. And then I suppose I've always been like an observer, very creative, artistic. And so really, I feel like along the way to kind of more when it sort of exploded was through my art. So I went to art school here in Minneapolis at MCAD, and I really felt like I was always connecting to some higher source, but I didn't really know what it was. And I was always like, I need to get to my art to get this energy through. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of like where the channel began, but it wasn't as focused, I would say, as maybe perhaps mediumship or intuitive. Exactly. It was sort of like from a broader scope of channeling, if that makes sense.
Were there other people in your life that were aware of Gertrude because you spoke to this entity or whatever you would call it?
I know. My mom. So my mom, I was.
But were there friends? Were there friends of yours that were like, hey, who are you talking to there?
I can't really remember. I don't know. But that was the first sort of thing that stuck out, that my mom, kind of brings up. And, I was always a little bit odd, a little bit very sensitive to energy. I look back now, how you kind of connect the dots. I'm sure Kelly understands this kind of connect the dots later. I had a thing with fainting as well. And now that I really do feel like it's linked to not being able to really you don't really understand how sensitive you are to energy and how to cope with it when you're younger. And that's part of why I'm so passionate about helping other people and their own development as well, because it really is, there's a lot of sensitive people, and they actually are absorbing a lot of energy and a lot of other people's energy, empaths and so on. And they don't really even like know what to do with it or what's actually happening. And that's kind of what happened to me for a long time until I became more aware of what was happening.
Oh, I totally get it. I actually used to have dizzy spells where I would just be knocked out on the ground, and like you actually just made me think about that. And I think it stopped when I was about 13, but I had it happen for about 5 years, and it would happen a couple times a year, and I would have to get on the ground, and it was crazy. And
that is really interesting. And
I had an imaginary friend. My mom said that, well, if you would have had an imaginary friend, we would have had you going to a therapist. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Yeah. And my daughter has Linda and Tom, and their baby cow. That's part of a baby cow, like, right? They have a baby cow. But we bring Linda and Tom in on a regular basis, and they're just part of the family. And we'll even ask her, like, Brindley will act up in school, and we're like, has Linda been talking to you? And she's like, yeah, but I just don't want to listen to Linda right now. And it's like, okay. That's great. Or when she's playing softball and she's acting like a little 11-year-old, you insert whatever word you want to, right? And we're like, wasn't Linda and Tom at the game? Yeah, they were, but I put them over there so I could do what I needed to do. So she's very consciously playing with her guides, right? Oh, but she puts them in their place, and I'm like, oh, Brindley. Oh. She always gets mad when I talk about her.
These experiences, to various degrees, but it's sort of like, when you're a kid, when you're younger, you don't have much of a filter, and you haven't been kind of like pounded down yet, and then, so yeah, that's interesting. I feel like part of, have a lot of people that come to me because I teach that, I used to be so much more connected. I used to have these experiences, but fear was usually the number one thing that kind of shut them down. That and just sort of like whatever, fear of being crazy and called, such and such. And is this my imagination? Blah, blah, blah. So.
Well, I could see you going to MCAT. It's actually the school my husband wanted to go to, but his parents wouldn't let him. And I could just see that, just like you, just like, like what a beautiful space to just like open up, and the sky's the limit. And if you want to create, you could create on a tin can with crayons, or you could do a full art installation. You just choose your own adventure. Like what a beautiful space for you to just kind of call out to MCAT here.
Yeah. Hey, MCAT peeps. Yeah, exactly. And so that was a great experience. I did, speaking of energy too, I would often, just sit by a tree because I was like the girl that sat by the tree in the middle of the, commons area, because it was just so much. I had a lot of out of body experiences when I was in class. I would have to leave, things like that, where I didn't really know what the bleep was happening to me at the time, so this is why I'm saying some people's, development is more of like a gradual awakening, and some people just bam straight off the bat, like when they're young or at a certain pivotal moments. I did have more pivotal moments, as I in my late 20s and early 30s, but that whole section was pretty much just driven by my art for channeling, things like that.
So you mentioned these pivotal moments. Mm-hmm. Would you say that those were moments where there was some kind of realization like, oh, this might be something that I should pay attention to? This isn't just a childhood friend or an imaginary friend or whatever the world labeled that as. Yeah. So what was maybe the first one, or what one is most significant for you?
Yeah. So one of the big times that I've really saw spirit, or my best friend from Iceland, because I had studied abroad there, she passed away from cancer when I was about 27. And she came to me. I was actually painting in my apartment, and she came to me in spirit and gave me this whole loving, healing message. Without going into this huge, giant thing about it, it was really, that was definitely a pivotal moment. And she does visit me every once in a while, or have a spirit visitation dream with her. So she's definitely was one of my first wake up. And then shortly after, I had all these kind of crazy intense things that happened sort of synchronistically. And that sort of made me aware of that there's something else besides just our physical form here, you know.
And did she want to just chat with you, or did she have a message for you, or what was the purpose?
She showed me a picture of a train and that she was on going one way, and I wanted, so it was all really fast, right? And really like, you know, and I wanted to kind of get on with her. I said, why can't I go with you? And she said, it's not your time yet. So I had a feeling of me kind of staying here while she went on a train, and she just really wanted to let me know that she was okay and that she would be with me. She would, you know, be visiting me, but tell everyone that I'm okay.
Got it. And you mentioned very briefly this spirit visitation dream. Is that like a technical term in your work, or?
Yeah.
Kelly's,
yeah. So that's just, you
Kelly's
know.
like, yeah, obviously.
No, I love that. I love, like, because you said it, and I'm trying to honor the audience who are like, she just mentioned something really beautiful. And it also might be something that people would be curious about. What's the difference between a spirit visitation dream or another type of dream? So it's just an opportunity for you to kind of dive in a little bit and go, okay, there is something here.
So from what I understand in my own experiences and connection to spirit's here to help us, even if there's things that are, you know, needed for forgiveness, or there was tumultuous relationship, or, you know, things like that left, you know, things left undone, you know, etc. So dreams that are more from our own subconscious and sort of like fear-based and stuff like that will feel like that. You may actually feel like you see your mom in spirit during the dream, but if it has a lot of kind of those undertones, then I feel like that's more you working something out. She actually may be there, but the message is more of you kind of working through that. A true, like a real intense spirit visitation dream is, it feels almost like Technicolor. It'll feel like realer than real. The couple ones that I've had with different people in spirit, one with my dad and some other people that are in spirit, it's just like they're like right there, and you feel like that realm is way more real than this realm, and it should feel very kind of healing.
Well,
It's
the
really
colors could be
interesting.
vivid. Like, I mean, it's just, it's this different experience. I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah. Do you find? Go ahead.
No, you guys talk about this. My question will be a little bit different. Go, Kelly.
Have you had any, Kelly? Or
I have. They feel very, very different, and I love how you phrased it, where there's the fear-based dreams, and then the. Okay, so I was talking to my accountant yesterday, and she dreams about her cat Sparky. Hi, Shar. Sparky's all about
Shar,
woohoo, Shar. And she is as I was describing to her, she's a very much in the box. So she loves numbers, and she loves everything in order. If I sign my document too large, she gets mad at me. Like, everything is in sync. Everything is in the box. Everything is very, very black and white. Yeah. And every time I go over there, her cat's like curled up by her foot, and she's just like, how do you see that? How do you know that? And she's recently told me about some of the dreams that she's been having, and Sparky's been coming to her in the dreams. And I'm like, this is when you let your mind flow. This is when you're open. So, and I'm just a little bit more during the day. I mean, I get it at night as well, but I'm a little bit there where you are so worried about being on the earth plane, being human, being an accountant, like in your box. And that's your control. That's your flow, that when you sleep, it's kind of like, woo, and then Sparky knows to come to you.
Yeah.
And
that's a great point. That's also why they visit us in our dreams more, because, 2, 3 a.m. and all of our filters are down, and we're more apt, and it's quiet too, in terms of like city noise, other things going on, your brain thinking about other things. So you're the most open then, right, to receive.
Well, and her cat had issues with its back end, so it was disabled. And she's like, in my dreams, he's totally running around feeling great. And I'm like, I know he's trying to tell you that.
Totally.
He's not going to come back all gimped up and really sad. He's going to be fluffy and with a tail. And she just was like, oh, that's great. I'm like, I know, Shar.
You're like, do I get a discount for interpretation?
Can we work a trade? So she's very fascinated by what we're doing and how we're doing it. So it's fun when she opens up and talks about her dreams.
I love that. I just read for a cat. I posted on my, I like post little clips sometimes if people allow it on my social media. And I just read for someone who just lost their animal in spirit. It was a cat. And, it's animals connect the same way that people do. They have soul, they have spirit. And it's actually really amazing, don't you find, Kelly, how much will come through, from animals. So I think that's really cool. It's great, just beautiful how we're all connected.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going in 50 million different directions. And then I'm looking at our time clock going like, I can't tee anything up in 38 seconds. So what I'm going to do is, you guys, this is wrapping up segment one. I told everybody this goes by fast. We are here with Nicole, NicoleIntuitiveMedium.com. We've just started to play. The goodness is flowing. We're going to really jump into what she's doing, how she's doing it. She has a mentorship program. Like, you guys, this is such an amazing conversation that we're having. It's Kelly and Brian and Kelly, and Nicole being curious. We'll be back. Have you checked out Body Lab USA Holistic Health and Wellness events yet? Well, guess what? Here's your chance. March 25th from 10 to 5 at the Rosemont Community Center. Body Lab USA will be hosting 4 guest speakers, a psychic gallery with medium Claudia Johnson, 25 vendors offering a wide variety of services and products, and gift bags for the first 25 people through the door. That's Saturday, March 25th from 10 to 5 at the Rosemont Community Center. Tell them you heard about it on AM 950. More information at bodylabusa.com.
So, Kelly, what are you curious about?
Well, Brian, as you know, I'm curious about many things, but today I'm curious about the Edge magazine, something very near and dear to my heart. The Edge magazine is a trusted 30-year-old leading holistic health and wellness magazine and website dedicated to the curiosities of the mind, body, and spirit here, there, and everywhere. TheEdgeMagazine.net uploads new content every day from thought leaders all throughout the world. Our print magazine is dropped off at 300 plus sites in the Midwest, around the country, and beyond. And we do offer subscriptions mailed to your home or business. In every issue, in the middle, and that's very important, it's in the middle, is our partner directory, or my own personal black book of practitioners, connecting teachers and seekers in a wide variety of modalities, ranging from events and experiences, functional medicine, intuitive coaching, shamanic healing, feng shui, psychic mediums, sound healing, intuitive jewelry, and much, much more. Have you discovered EdgeMagazine.net yet? Check out our website at edgemagazine.net for more information. Elizabeth Sullivan, a certified yoga therapist and friend of the Being Curious show, is excited to announce her upcoming Soma healing experience, The Physical Alchemist. This program is designed to teach you how to embody your divine nature in a beautiful and sacred space at the Om Center of Healing in St. Paul. It will be held twice a month from April 12th through May, with a break in the summer and resuming in the fall. Elizabeth will guide a committed group of people through a deep dive into grounding high frequencies into your physical body for optimal balance of body, mind, and soul. Throughout the program, you will learn various techniques, including re-educating your pelvic floor and core, supporting your physical, mental, and emotional bodies with breath practices, and working with the foundational Ayurveda practices. Elizabeth brings passion, dedication, and commitment to everything she shares and teaches, with the desire to help people step into their sovereignty and healing states. To reserve your spot to the Physical Alchemist program, visit elizabethsullivan.love or the omcenterofhealing.com.
And welcome back, everyone. This is Being Curious with Kelly and Brian. We're here with our amazing guest, Nicole. She's an intuitive medium. And I actually have a question for you, Nicole, because I don't know if you can answer it, but I'm very interested in what your answer will be. So you talked about a spirit visitation dream. Mm-hmm. I actually had a dream experience last night that was very, 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 very vivid. Mm-hmm. And I woke up and I actually felt tired and I felt a little dizzy and unbalanced.
Okay.
And it wasn't, I really had to pull all of my stuff together. I'm very disciplined in my morning routine. And it was like everything I could do to push through and get into my meditation and workout and journaling. I felt tired, unbalanced, a little dizzy, confused. So I just was wondering if you had anything to share about that.
So kind of what just came up, what came through was just like being on that astral plane. It's so like high and free at times. And you're just, wherever you are, you're just rolling and connecting and whatnot. And I feel like sometimes when we kind of come back to this, physical world or wake up or whatnot, it's almost like your soul or your spirit needs to sort of readjust to physical world, because let's face it, physical world is a ton of work. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's that integration part. That's just what I was picking up on. But
that totally resonates. I felt like I went somewhere else.
Yeah.
It was so real and intense. It was very apparent to me, even while I was experiencing it, like, wow, this kind of feels like I'm actually walking around in this dream. And you're absolutely right. It took maybe 30 to 45 minutes after actually standing up, where I kind of came back into balance. But I literally felt dizzy.
Brian, where did you go in your dream?
I was readjusting.
Brian, where did you tell me? Like this is.
So it was it wasn't like I went to another planet. I went into an experience, and it was kind of on a street with a number of different houses. And in all those houses were people in my life, and I'd go into one house and, have an experience with those people. And
that
some of it was,
exhausting.
it was an adventure.
But probably you were working on a lot of stuff. I don't know, Kelly, if you feel this way sometimes, but like, how they use kind of the term level up, which I feel like all that means is just sort of opening awareness more. I don't really know what that means, but like, I feel like whenever something big is going to sort of breakthrough, I'll feel really tired during that time. And then after, I'm like, oh yeah, it's almost like you're integrating something. And during that process, it's like exhausting.
That really resonates. 'Cause I actually wrote, I don't know if I wrote that exactly in my journal, but I wrote in my journal exactly how I was feeling. And the thought that balanced out me writing, wow, I'm tired and dizzy, was this is probably in preparation for something.
Yeah.
That was like coming from whatever.
That
cool. Was the light side of the balancing of it.
Right.
So I'm glad I asked the question. That was really helpful.
And I don't know, it just makes me think of too, also doing readings, so I think, sometimes just general public, if, I'm not saying everyone, but sometimes people have this vision of it. Oh, it's just so easy, you shouldn't even charge, or like, it's just, like it just cut, and it's like, no, it's energetically, even if spirit brings you up very high, even if you're connecting to someone in spirit and they kind of bring you through this cathartic experience, and it's very loving and healing and everything else. And if there's, we've gone through emotions, and we've gone through energetically just connecting to people in spirit, or just psychically, to another soul to soul communication afterwards, I call it like a hangover sometimes, if I've, we have to really, kind of not protect, because I don't really like that word, but like, just be mindful of our energy and our energy exchanges, because afterwards, I don't know about you, Kelly, but afterwards I can feel super high, and then it's just like energy crash. Like you have like an absolute hangover, because it does take, it takes a lot. It's sort of going back to your dream. It's sort of like we're in a different realm, and then we have to come back here, and you're also dealing with other people's emotions, expectations, it's a service. There's all that also. So I know I just kind of went off on that tangent, but
no, you totally can go off on a tangent.
I think it's perfect, Nicole, because one of our fundamental intentions with all of these conversations that we're having is that we're giving people the deepest insight into what it could be like to actually work with you. And so for you to kind of express that, I actually want to ask an even kind of deeper question, which would be, talk to us about what you do to prepare to work with someone, what happens when you work with someone.
Yeah,
because it's absolutely not it's not like just having a conversation with your brother or a good friend.
Right.
Those are important, but
Yeah.
what you do is, certainly a level up, or whatever word we want to use from that.
And I want to interject. It's not a parlor trick.
Yes.
And
Right.
Yeah.
As we're diving deep, I am choosing my words, as we're diving deeper and deeper into this community, so many people at the beginning, when they are curious, they're just like, I want to know if I'm going to be a millionaire. I want to know if I'm going to meet the person of my dreams. But it's so much more than that. And when you are working with someone that is truly dialed in, I'm very, very grateful, and I'm very blessed to be connected with people like you that are authentic. They have integrity. They really take what we're doing seriously, because we change lives when we have readings with people and they're ready and they're open and they want, we change lives. And I'm not saying this in arrogance in any way, shape, or form, but we have impact, and we have to choose our words, and we have to be authentic, and we have to hold sacred space that you don't just do when you're at a... Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's people who are grieving, there's people who you're dealing with, people who are grieving, and of course grief never ends, just changes form. So, but, and then there's people who are like in that intuitive space, psychic in space, where they, they have huge decisions, divorce, change of life, moving, blah, blah, this isn't like, 1-800 psychic where we're blasting through, 100 people so that's, I feel like the McDonald's, or like even sort of, whatever, we're giving the spa experience. We're giving the, like you said, like the whole heart experience. And, so to prepare, just a lot of self-care. I try to keep myself in a general self-care, on a daily basis, meditation, just other going for a walk, when I can, things like that. I love a little sage and some crystals around me, although, you don't have to, I do shy away from getting too ritualistic, because spirit, you can connect, wherever, in the middle of the forest, but just in terms of comforts around me, I have a little office here. So I do in-person readings, and then phone and video. So really just trying to keep myself in balance, that's the biggest thing.
So what does a reading look like with you? So if someone is curiously listening and they're like, gosh, well, for Kelly and Brian to have Nicole on here, she must be good at what she does, or we wouldn't be here. Tell us, and I don't say that flippantly, I promise you, we aren't dialing 1-800-psychic up and going, oh, we should do that for a show. We should just call one of those lines up and just be like, tell us, right? Tell us about what does a session look like with you, whether it's in person or it's via Zoom or phone. And just set that stage for us, please.
Okay. So, first you would go to my website to book what you want, if you want to I have 30 or 50 minute, and then sessions that I offer. And if you want to come into the office, I'm in, the Wayzata Deep Bay Haven area, an office building, and otherwise it would be phone or Zoom link. And I first explain, how I work. If I haven't worked with someone, if they're a repeat client, then I don't need to explain. I work through my psychic senses. We all have them. It's not just clairvoyance. I hear, see, feel, however a spirit wants to get in there, the fastest, most efficient way. And I always give exactly what I'm getting. When you're connecting to someone who's in spirit, I always tell people this is not, a direct phone line. They don't have a physical body anymore. So, even when I do see spirit, outside of me, they also will blend with me at times, and it becomes more of a telepathic experience where they're blended with my energy. So I get to see things the way that they see things. They may show me a memory. They may show me personal or shared memory. They may show me something that's going on in your world right now. They may tell me their name. They might, bring up something that they highlight things is basically what I explain. So if they're highlighting right during their passing, if they want to bring that up, it's probably for a reason. Maybe that person, maybe their loved one couldn't be there with them. Maybe this person in spirit was a severe alcoholic. Maybe they were abusive. There's all different types of situations, right? So that's how that works. And always they're here to help us heal. So it's always good. They're on a different vibration is what I tell people. They're not here to haunt, they're here to help heal. And so that's, the mediumship side. The intuitive side is if someone's asking, what's going on with this and that. It works very similarly, only it does definitely feel, I don't know if Kelly, if you feel this, it does definitely feel like you kind of drop down a little when I go into the intuitive, although I do work with guides, so, that comes through, but that's the way that I can navigate where I'm at, who's talking and what's going on, in terms of the energies and the messages. And I just feel like I'm blabbing. So hopefully that
No, I think it's great. No, but you're like inviting people in. Like this is what it looks like. And something that is really key to our mission is that the normalcy of what a session is with someone like you. And that every president since George Washington had a psychic medium on their council. They just don't talk about it, right?
Yep,
so we have, I love that you said that we all have these gifts and abilities. Some people just, we've sharpened our knives, we've sharpened our tools. Yep. Brian is wicked intuitive in all these different aspects and in business and he's very dialed in, and you have your gifts and abilities and I have my gifts and abilities, and Patrick has his too, and we just all kind of come together and celebrate what we gravitate towards, and this is what we've gravitated towards.
Yeah. And I love that you said, I say like sharpening your antenna, it's sort of like the same thing. And what I try to empower other people with the courses that I teach is how can you trust yourself more, and how can you, whether it's in the intuitive, information, trusting yourself in daily decisions, or whether it be with communicating with your loved ones in spirit, how can you get clear with that? And so that's basically, I just came out with a self-paced mediumship online course so people can, go as they want, self-paced, and then also option to practice together in a mentored circle. So that's really proud of that. That took me like 6 months to create. And so, I've been teaching for 4 years, but it's always been live while I'm teaching, together. So this is a way where people can, practice, kind of go on their own and things like that and dive deeper, kind of like a manual.
But going at your own pace is so beautiful rather than trying to just hit it with everybody else and be able to ask the questions that you need to ask.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I think, it was really out of a need. People were saying, I want to take your class, but, I'm not there on Tuesdays at noon, or I can't do this and that. And so this way, at least they can start and they can practice with, whomever. But if they want to meet up with some of the circle, then they can, because practicing with each other, if that's the way that you want to go, some people just want it for their own personal, communication. It really is a must. I don't know how you can get from point A to point B if you don't practice on your skill. And that way it's not any different than, becoming any other professional. You need to have like-minded people, and you need to work on this, and then you can go into like the general public with your skill.
Come on, I don't want to be the first person a back surgeon's working on. I've never done this before. Sign me up. No, I totally get it. Okay, you guys, wrapping up segment 2, being curious. We'll be back in a few. Elizabeth Sullivan, a certified yoga therapist and friend of the Being Curious show, is excited to announce her upcoming Soma healing experience, The Physical Alchemist. This program is designed to teach you how to embody your divine nature in a beautiful and sacred space at the Om Center of Healing in St. Paul. It will be held twice a month from April 12th through May, with a break in the summer and resuming in the fall. Elizabeth will guide a committed group of people through a deep dive into grounding high frequencies into your physical body for optimal balance of body, mind, and soul. Throughout the program, you will learn various techniques, including re-educating your pelvic floor and core, supporting your physical, mental, and emotional bodies with breath practices, and working with the foundational Ayurveda practices. Elizabeth brings passion, dedication, and commitment to everything she shares and teaches, with the desire to help people step into their sovereignty and healing states. To reserve your spot to the Physical Alchemist program, visit elizabethsullivan.love or the omcenterofhealing.com.
Hello, everyone. Brian Mariani here, co-host of the Being Curious show. And I wanted to take some time today to really highlight my absolutely extraordinary co-host, Kelly Wagner. She is the owner of the edgemagazine.net. She has a magazine that's both online and you can get it on the shelf. It's being spread around the country, and that makes me really, really happy because the work that she's done to create a really open and service-first space of extraordinary practitioners, really masters of their art and modality, and she's brought them all into a really healthy, curious space where she shines a light onto them, but she shines an even bigger light for everyone to see who these people are, what they do, and connect directly with them. And so I just wanted to give her a big, big shout out.
Have you checked out Body Lab USA holistic health and wellness events yet? Well, guess what? Here's your chance. March 25th from 10 to 5 at the Rosemont Community Center. Body Lab USA will be hosting 4 guest speakers, a psychic gallery with medium Claudia Johnson, 25 vendors offering a wide variety of services and products, and gift bags for the first 25 people through the door. That's Saturday, March 25th from 10 to 5 at the Rosemont Community Center. Tell them you heard about it on AM 950. More information at bodylabusa.com.
And we're back.
Woohoo!
We're with Nicole. This is segment 3, Being Curious with Kelly and Brian. We've really gotten to know you, Nicole, as someone who has had this adventure. Yes, it was weird and strange, maybe a little confusing at the beginning, but I never had a sense, or at least we haven't talked about it, that this was like your gifts and abilities were this like negative presence. It was kind of maybe a little bit misunderstood, or maybe just a little bit, not all in place, but that you've carried these gifts and abilities your whole life. And over time, as you had these pivotal experiences that you described, you've honed them in. And you mentioned, really getting to a place where not only are you able to do this as a profession, but you've actually even gotten to a place where you're now teaching and mentoring, and you've put courses together. And so you're actually someone who's now taking your profession and, allowing others to step into it. And so talk about what that's been like. I mean, that's kind of the dream, right? It's like,
well, and all that just kind of happened organically too, because I started having, people on social media or some of my clients be like, are you going to teach something? Are you going to teach this? And I never thought of myself as a teacher. I was like, oh, okay. But then enough people were asking me that. I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll try to put together something to, help people based on my experiences and how, breaking it down and stuff. So it started with workshops and things like that. And going back to, the point of you saying of, it wasn't weird or this and that. I had a lot of fear. I'm not going to lie about that. Like at the beginning, when all this was happening, I was, and I didn't have, part of it was I just wasn't educated about it. I just didn't know, you see like Hollywood, like haunted, whatever, and then something else. And it's like, well, is that actual, mediumship? And when I the further I went into it, and then I began to understand, and different mediums do different things, but like the type of mediumship that the evidential mediumship and those types of mediums that I started to see more, I understand that, okay, yeah, spirit's like on a higher dimension than us. And a lot of the fear stuff is us misinterpreting it, that's what I personally believe. I know, people have different, experiences. And so I wanted to help other people who are really afraid, whether it be they just don't understand what's happening, or maybe they have some religious, background that's very strict, or, whatever it might be. Or just coming out of the spiritual closet is not easy. Like, hey, I'm a medium, I mean, that is, now it's becoming easier and easier.
I was about to ask you that, isn't it? Wasn't it like, oh my gosh, the eye rolls that I got originally. I mean, my parents think I'm a witch. They think I'm a part of a cult. Like, no lie. It's all good. Oh no, it is. And then now with the Edge magazine, they're just like, oh my gosh. But what's interesting is my parents are selling their home in the Spooner, Wisconsin area, and a Reiki retreat center is buying it. And now all of a sudden I hear through the grapevine that they're very proudly talking about our magazine and what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I'm like, oh, that would have been fun. Right?
And I mean, sadly, that's the case because of, I feel like, the misconceptions through society. But now it's becoming so much more out in the open. And so many people, are expressing that they go to, mediums and intuitives and so on. Before it was so closeted that it's like, okay, we are here to help serve, so yeah, that was also the point, Brian, you mentioned, is just that I wanted to also help other people. How can I help you, come out of this, develop and come out of the closet? Because that's not easy. You get people who, friends who you think are going to totally support you, and they're like, what the, and then you get people who you think would be like, you don't even want to say that you're a medium. And then as soon as you do, they're like, oh my God, I love that. How can I come to you? So you're going to get everything and everybody. And then as soon as you become more confident in it, you're just like, whatever, if somebody is not into it, it's totally fine. It's not a personal thing. I don't care about basketball, it's like, so I just sort of like roll. It doesn't have to be personal, so yeah, I think that's why I love to teach too.
Well, and it's fun when you go to like a dinner party with strangers. And
I used to lie about who I was I'm a life coach. And then I was like, well, yeah, I'm an intuitive. And then finally I'm like, I'm a medium. You can't handle me talking to, was it a process for you, Kelly? Did you sort of lie a little bit about your title, or did you just go straight in?
Well, I'm a publisher of a magazine, so that's where I can lead night, right? Like I can just go like that. Hey, boom, like, right. But, in certain audiences and certain groups, sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to play with this one for a little bit. So then it's like, what do you do? I'm a psychic medium. And you just look at them and you wait for it, right? And then what's interesting, it's, you need to meet my friend. Or see that lady over there? She needs to talk to you. Would you go over and talk to her? No, the parlor tricks. No, that's like, right. Here's my card. I'd be more than happy. That's the other thing is I used to just be so excited when somebody when I said I'm a psychic medium and they're like, they wanted to talk to me. I was so like, somebody, and I got all excited. And now it's like, okay, the OBGYN doesn't ask you at a party to jump on a table and make sure everything's cool. Like, right now it's just like I bring cards with me and I'm like, hey, I'll do a little of this.
But where is that party, by the way?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that on air. Well, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to get out breast exams at a...
Right. It's so true, because the energy exchange is not usually right when that happens. And I've totally the same, and I've been through the trenches I started with like psychic metaphysical fairs. I did free online panel at first. And seriously, it really does have to be about, we set like what we want to have the experience, how we want to do it, how many clients, how much energy we can, afford within ourselves within this to create a good experience, a good healing experience, of wellness. Not something where it's like you said, just like a party trick or a quick, yes, no, type thing. There's people for that. They can call the 1-800 psychic people for that, but that's not what we do. We have a whole, bigger experience here. So,
well, and I think there's an environment that you create where someone has invested time and money and energy, and there's a listening, I I would think that you would want to create an environment where there's a listening from your client of what you're saying is very, very real. The point I'm trying to get at is when that doesn't exist, like a 1-800-psychic, the person is often there and they just want to hear what they want to hear. They're like, I paid you money. Just tell me what I want to hear.
Just tell me my boyfriend's going to come back.
just tell me that. And, a true professional like yourself is exceptionally different from that. It is... You're tuning in the same way, you were talking about sports earlier, so I'll use that as the opposite. It's like the same way you'd go to a trainer to get you where you want to go in your sport of choice. That's not usually a fun experience. Like they're testing and putting you through all the exercises to get you where you want to go, and it's often not exactly how you want to get there. It's not the easy way.
And I always explain too, Kelly, too, if you agree, it's a 3-way energetic exchange. It's not me telling you if you're going to get married or not. It's not a yes or no. I mean, that might come through if it's coming through in an organic way, but it's like you have, spirit guides, or a specific person in spirit, the client, and me. And it's a 3-way, and it takes work. I wanted to make a video the other day about the way that clients look at me if the self-care meditation comes through, like I'm mom, it's like, well, because sometimes those things come through because, if I do have, let's just say like a boyfriend thing or a wife or whatever, if that's kind of one of the concerns that's coming through, it's not going to happen if you just lay on your sofa. Here's the different impressions that I'm getting. If I'm getting a specific area, if it's work or through a friend, or if I'm getting like whatever it is, a name, or maybe I'm getting, a specific month or area. If you just lay there on your sofa, they're not going to come to you. And luckily I don't get too many of just the like romantic kind of what you think psychics are for, but that does come through sometimes because it is a concern of people. There's the personal relationship, but people ask about jobs too, and if I'm connecting to something within their work realm or something else, that's not going to happen if you don't take care of yourself. If you just get ripped every night and you just like totally, you know what I mean? So that's your exchange. That's your part. That's your responsibility. So that's all these things sort of have to align, and the energy shifts, right? So if you don't do certain things, take action, then the energy is going to shift and it's not going to be what it was when we spoke. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Well, and the image that I just got, Nicole, as you were sharing that is someone like you can shine a light on maybe your best path in this human adventure of yours. So. But you have to walk down. You have to take the steps. You have to move toward.
We can't do that for you. We can't do that for you, right?
No, just because we see somebody coming back into your life, whether it's a scorned boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, but you drunk dial them one night, and all of a sudden, whoop, the energy changes. Like, right? You've got to show up, and you like. I love this. I love this. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us, because now remember I told you that this is going to go by fast. We have 3 minutes left, and like right, it's just crazy.
I love it.
Tell us about your classes that you have coming up. That if someone wanted to have action and they wanted to register right now, what's going on? Because you definitely said there's the self-paced one, so that's probably available anytime. Okay, tell us more about it.
So that's the big one that I've recreated my whole website, and then I made a whole, this online self-paced course, which has a membership. You have to, sign up, become a member. And then you get all the modules, and there's videos, there's instructional videos, there's guided meditation videos that I created. There's photos, there's journal prompts, there's exercises that you can do on your own with your friend or somebody else. There's 2 30-minute included one-on-one mentoring with me. So if you want to ask all these questions that are coming up, things like that about the development. And then there's also option to pay a little extra if you want to join the weekly circle class and participate and have people to practice with in a safe, environment. And then there's the membership area where I will just, throw out different extra kind of added things, hey, how about this like guided meditation for the week, things like that. So I'm really excited about it. This is something that I have been working on and I'm really proud of. And I really hope that people find it helpful and inspiring. So yeah, that's the big one.
Well, Nicole, thank you for just making that super clear and accessible for everyone. And as we wrap up, we really want that people reach out to you, NicoleIntuitiveMedium.com.
Yeah.
Go to the website, connect with Nicole. What would you like to leave our audience with today, whether they're listening on the radio or on any podcast platform? What would you like to share with everyone today?
I would just share, that just the inspiration, just be inspired to, awaken something like this within yourself, your own intuition, how can you be clear, with your own soul path, whether you want to connect with people in spirit or not, that's another thing. But how can you kind of cut through programs of self-talk and, things like that by using your own intuition and understanding and allowing yourself to this is how we move forward, right? And how we break through. We don't have to be the person that we were 5 years ago. We can, we're so much more than that. And really just trust yourself.
And truly, be curious. I'm sorry. I'm sneezing and I'm drinking water, trying not to do it. It's just I know this is when stuff's coming in. I'm just we have to wrap up. No. The flow's going. I don't want to wrap up. Okay, you guys. Nicole, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for
having me.
Being you and being a part of our community. And we're just so grateful. Right? What's your email? I'm sorry. We have the website. What's your email if someone wants to reach out?
Oh, NicoleIntuitive@gmail.com.
There we go. Perfect. Okay.
And you can also find me on my website. Just hit subscribe.
Beautiful. You guys, be curious. Seriously, Nicole's a good one. Trusted, integrity, authenticity. I just love, even in your little ramblings, which were just golden, people can get inside and go, oh my gosh, I trust her. And you were vulnerable and lovely and amazing. You guys, thank you so much. Being curious.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one. We'll see you soon.